Have you ever tried to fly with a guitar? It's a nightmare. Hello music lovers, my name's Andy and welcome back to the Woodshed. This is all getting more and more ridiculous by the day and I want to talk about it and hopefully have some solutions that might help you touring guys and solutions that might help you guys that just want to take a guitar on the family vacation. Possibly being this thing, which is a guitar where the neck comes off intentionally. All right, let's roll it. Recently, I shared a photo from Sam Hayes. Sam Hayes, if I'm not mistaken, is a Nashville musician, maybe a singer-songwriter. Not real sure. Sam, if you're watching this, I need to check out your stuff. But he shared a photo that came across my feed on Facebook, and it says, "So don't gauge check your guitar," and his guitar is absolutely annihilated. My response was, vaults are becoming more and more the way to do it, or just buy a seat for the guitar. Okay, we've seen the photos of Joe Bonamassa with the seat that he buys for the guitar. That's awesome if you can afford to do that on every flight. However, I've noticed that even on oversold flights, which are seems like all of them, seems like every flight is oversold, that you're going to get some pushback about the seat that you bought if no human is in it. It's crazy. That's crazy to me. You pay your money for the seat. If you want to buy every seat on the plane and they're all empty, that should be fine, right? This overselling is a problem. I think that's a core issue, is greed and everybody trying to make as many dollar papers as possible without just being like, hey man, at what point do you sacrifice the consumer experience and you start ruining the long game of flying? Almost the next day, Guthrie Trapp, this was on May 5th. I'm going to read this to you. Guthrie Trapp says, "This is at the Key West airport, but it's important to note that it's like this at all airports now due to the new scanners. Traveling with a guitar and a gig bag and putting it in the overhead bins like most of us have done our entire lives is now a thing of the past. The new Analogic scanners in all airports now are too small for a guitar case, so now a security agent who has no clue how to handle an instrument rummages through the entire contents of your gig bag, removes the guitar, and either holds it or makes you hold it in line in front of everyone. It's completely and utterly ridiculous. To add to this insanity, all the overhead compartments are too small for a guitar in almost all the planes. It's so bad that I don't want to travel with a guitar at all. We're back to checking giant hard cases again, which is not ideal or guaranteed for safety either. Carrying a gig bag on meant the guitar never left our side. We were in control of where it went at all times. Guitars are getting destroyed now more than ever. Something needs to change. Please reach out to our Musicians Union Local 257 about a petition to sign. This is something we all can truly come together on, possibly make some changes to get some stuff happened. Musicians should be able to travel with the instruments that inspire them, not second-grade instruments, just because we're worried about them getting destroyed by the very people who are supposed to be protecting us. Thank you." So there's a couple of points in here that I want to address. He says that the compartments are too small for guitar in almost all planes. That is true depending on your gig bag. So the Reunion Blues, as of now, still fits in even the smallest connection flight, those little flights that have 1 row and 2 rows. That's what I fly from Knoxville to Atlanta, right? The Reunion Blues will still fit in that, but most of the gig bags don't. He's right, because they're too long. Now, the next thing is it's back to hard cases. That is my solution for you guys that are touring professionals. You need to use a vault. You can use those big single SKB cases, but it just gets cumbersome the more and more you get. Two vaults that I like. One is the Quantum case that holds 3 guitars. Pro is holds 3 guitars, still less than 50 pounds, really durable material. Con is the hinges are on the outside. So even though there's 6 hinges, I've gotten it back and one of those hinges has been opened. So it's like, how much can you trust that hinge? All right. The other vault I like is right here, just out of frame, which is the Gator vault, and it's super thick and like big and bulky. The hinges are recessed butterfly hinges. I think for protection, it's better than the Quantum, but it only holds 2 guitars. So, you know, you got to weigh your pros and cons. You take 2 of these or 1 Quantum. So there's several ways to look at what's valuable to you. In general, if 2 guitars can do it, I'd get the Gator. If you got to have 3, the Quantum's nice too. So with that in mind, the last thing Guthrie said was taking lesser quality instruments. And that is what we're going to talk about today with this instrument. And even if you're a touring professional, I notice guys aren't taking their favorite instrument for risk of damage. Brent Mason chimed in and said, I'm taking throwaway guitars, you know, when he goes on the road or goes on vacation. This video is not sponsored in any way. I'm not getting paid to do this. This is just something I wanted to talk about and see if we can find some solutions that might help you touring guys and solutions that might help you guys that just want to take a guitar on the family vacation. So what is this thing? This is obviously not a Sir. I'm wearing a Gibson t-shirt. It's not a Gibson. It's not an EVH. It's not a Music Man. These are the things that you typically catch me playing. The neck comes off of this thing and it folds up and fits into that little backpack that's just out of frame. This is a Journey guitar. It's the OE990. So it's kind of less polish. Let's check it out. So first thing to note, I am playing through the Axe-Fx 3 on a super over-the-top patch that's got a lot of gain, a lot of delay, and a lot of pitch shift. And before you haters in the comment go, I want to hear the guitar playing dur-dur-dur-dur, I'm doing this to help disguise the guitar's imperfections. This is not a perfect instrument. This is not a player's grade instrument. This is a hobbyist instrument or something that a player that is not working take on vacation, right? So if you got something that you just want to have laying around at the beach house or in the mountains on your ski trip, but you don't want to take a big vault, you don't want to take your nice gear. This is what this is for. The reason I'm using that patch is to kind of make this thing sound as good as it can. Let's check it out and see what it sounds like. Pretty gnarly. Here's that neck pickup tone. Both in the middle. Back. You can already hear the guitar is starting to slightly get out of tune. That's the nature of the instrument. It's not perfect when we're talking about the cons. This thing will get squirrely on you. It does have locking tuners. Let's get the guitar in tune, and then I'm going to disassemble it and show you what it does. Okay, I've got the guitar pretty close to in tune. The neck moves a lot and it gets out of tune again. But in general, that's pretty decent. Now let's check out its party trick. Take this thing, flip it over. I needed to make sure that you guys heard that it was pretty close to in tune. And I'm going to de-thread this bolt on the back, right? Get this thing out of here. So that's going to get nice and loosey-goosey. Okay, and then we're going to mash this button, and the whole thing's just going to come off. Now we're dealing with this scenario. You take the headstock off the guitar. So this folds up, goes in its little backpack. You have the strings dangling. So I can't imagine that that's really great for longevity. The other thing about flying with it is I'm surprised that this is a thing. Like, it seems like this is good for maybe bonk and somebody. You could do a bonk with this. But I flew with it to Florida and had no problems. So the thing that I found interesting about this thing is I've been online, I've seen the influencers and the people with the neon backgrounds. I've seen all those folks like making the video where they just plop the neck on and plop the headstock on and boom, it's perfect. And now we're playing funk fusion licks. Highly edited funk fusion licks. So let's put this thing together with no edits, no cuts or anything. So, you know, you're going to have to deal with it. Look at that. That's pretty cool the way that does that. Look at that thing. Yeah. No edits at all. Let's just plop it back together. Let's put the headstock on first and get the tension correct. So look there, right? Let's get the headstock on. Bloop. Okay. Now the strings are all twisted. Do we have a problem somewhere? Yep. Something's wrong. Okay. Redo it. And the thing that I don't like is what just happened was I poked the crap out of my finger because you're dealing with a headstock and that's always a possibility. You're going to get your finger poked. I don't like that. Okay, that's straight now. And now let's put this on. And we're going to get it geared up for our funk fusion licks, right? Yeah, right. Okay, going to drop it into the neck pocket. It's got a little wedge there that it does its thing. Everything seems to be lined up. Double check the strings to where they're in the saddles. And yeah, let's just push this into place. You heard it pop. Okay, get back to this side of business. Screw this baby in. And let's see if this is actually in tune, because it's not going to be. The reality is, no way, Jose. So I don't want anyone to think that this is supposed to be like, well, it's supposed to be in tune. I saw the video with the guy with the neon background, and it made it perfectly in tune. There's got to be something wrong with mine. Nope. Okay, is everything slotted correctly, lined up? Okay, here we go. That's not in tune. My funk licks aren't in tune. Okay, let's tune it back up. Yeah. All right, so there you have it. It's not perfect. Let me give you the pros. The pickups actually sound pretty killer for what it is. The fretwork is really good, like super impressed with the fretwork. Outside of the tuning issues, here's my cons. I hate how big this heel joint is. I get it. That's why it works and how it goes together. The neck is an odd shape. It's probably got a lot of reinforcement, but it doesn't feel very comfortable in the hand. I do think the overall balance of it's pretty decent, considering the neck comes off, you know. That's my thoughts on this thing. This is the Journey guitar, and if you're going on vacation and you're going on some kind of little trip where you just want to have something to play, take this. Take one of those little Black Star 5-watt amps. That's what I took. And you can rock on the go, and that is a good thing to have. You can play music, you can jam along with your iPad, and you don't have to leave music at home just because you want to go on a skiing trip or whatever. You can take this thing with you, and worst comes to worst, if it gets destroyed, you're not really heartbroken because it's not your Murphy Lab Les Paul or your Sir Modern with a flame top, right? That's my thoughts. If you're a touring guy and touring professional, definitely look at the Gator case, the Gator Vault. Definitely look at the Quantum Industries. That's my thoughts on this thing. Travel safe, happy picking. See you in the next one. Make sure to hit up andywoodmusic.com for tones, tablatures, backing tracks, lesson bundles, hoodies, hats, all the things, all the goodies are there, andywoodmusic.com. We also have my tour dates on there, so you can come hang out at a show and get it live without a net. That's andywoodmusic.com.